Okay,
All
that should be
set.
good to go. All right. Good evening, everybody. This is the Monday, September 8th meeting of the Select Board. All right. With me, I have Ellen Rosenfeld, Craig Schultz. I am Erin Underhill, the chair. We also have Mike Kaczynski, the town administrator, and Karen Bray DeMarzo, the assistant town administrator. Tonight we have a semi-light agenda, but we do have something interesting a little bit later where we will be working with the school committee to potentially make an appointment tonight for a vacancy that they have in their committee. And that's a joint appointment between the school committee and the select board. But we will start tonight with some announcements. Yes.
What is that ringing?
It's a little feedback.
I'm too loud.
Just a little feedback.
Might be a little too close. It's this balancing act here. I'm sorry.
Sorry.
I was in AV in high school. I know how this stuff works.
Keep us in mind. All right, so first for announcements, Ellen is going to say a few words about Kathy McGinnis.
Yes, thank you. For those of you who don't know, and for those of you who do know, I'm reminded that Kathy McGinnis passed away 2 weeks ago today, actually. And I know that because she spent the day preparing for the select board meeting that we had 2 weeks ago today, which she did quite regularly. I've known Kathy since the early 90s, when I started working with my father and I was in front of the planning board, and Kathy was on the planning board at the time. She was not the first woman, I think Lisa Harden was, but she was right in there. She came to Millis. She wasn't born in Millis, but I've always admired people that come into a town. She married a townie, Stephen McGinnis, and come into a town and get involved right away. And that was Kathy. She started with the planning board. There are so many boards and committees that she was on over the last 35 years. Design review, planning board, sidewalk, community preservation, master plan implementation, school building committee, enterprise fund, cemetery committee, election volunteer for years, culminating in the select board and the finance committee, which she was on currently. When I first met her on the planning board, she was very quiet, which is unusual for Kathy, but she listened and learned and eventually found her voice, which she never lost, and good for us for that. She became involved on all those boards and committees. She always tried to make Millis better for the taxpayers, and she tried to keep the town, the issue she was the most concerned about, keeping the town fiscally responsible, more equitable for the taxpayers. She advocated for smarter growth and hold everybody accountable. And she was relentless in those pursuits. She stepped on a lot of toes along the way. She was unapologetic for it. And she made the town a better place. She always came incredibly prepared, which made the boards and committees that she stood in front of prepare for the better. And she was a force because she was smart, again, overly prepared and tenacious, and her voice will be missed. And I have one regret, and that is that we never did get the enterprise funds 100% fixed, which was her ballywick, and it was just her passion. And we are so close that we will, just because she's no longer with us does not mean we're not gonna continue that effort. We will do that, I guarantee it. So that's my 2 cents.
Yeah, well, if I may.
Sure.
Yeah, I served with Kathy for 28 years on different committees. I think we were on a lot of overlap there. The sidewalk committee, which sounds like a bigger deal than it really is because it met 4 times, I think. But the other committees we spent a lot of time on together, culminating the finance committee. We served there together for many years. And actually, it's Kathy who convinced me to run for select board and helped me a lot with getting signs up. I'd run during the pandemic and she didn't seem to have an issue asking people for signatures. So I thank her for that. And unfortunately, I was out of the state. I was in Colorado during a funeral and I really missed it, but I thought about her a lot while I was out there. It was we had an interesting relationship. She kept us honest. She kept me on my toes and she wasn't afraid to disagree, but that doesn't mean she was wrong either. We worked from the same set of facts all the time, but we came to different conclusions often. And that's okay. I think that that's the way politics in towns are supposed to work. She wasn't a person who sat in the back and criticized and didn't get involved. She got involved and criticized, and that's great. That's what I'm looking for in a town. She wasn't one of the Facebook warriors that posted anonymously or posted without any background or facts. She stood at that podium and told us what she thought, and it was uncomfortable, and that was good. It made us uncomfortable. But I think we got to a better place because of her. So she will be missed deeply.
I can't follow those two. I think you both have a whole lot more history than I do, but she definitely shot from the hip and she was a straight shooter and, you know, she did help people prepare.
Yeah.
She really did. So her presence will be missed.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Next, we have a middle high school project update.
Well, we voted 2 weeks ago
Mhm.
and submitted to the state, I think it was Thursday of that week. So the state now has our final proposed project and we'll get prices on that. And we'll get Jody to give us the implication on the tax rates for that. Now, that won't be bonded for like, I think it's 2 years, about 2 years before there's a bonding on it. So it's anybody's guess what interest rates will be. So we'll run them. Right now, they're running about 4.5% maybe for municipal. But if the rates fall 3 more times as the Fed's projecting, it could be down to 3.5. And that makes a big difference on what the cost will be. So we'll talk about a range. And if anybody, as I keep saying, if anybody can tell me what the interest rates will be in 2030, you're in the wrong line of work. So we'll give a reasonable cost for the average household at the 4.5% and another at the 3.5%, and the actual number will be someplace in between those two probably. But we'll get all that information out. At that point, we'll start having meetings at the Council on Aging. We've been invited to Glen Ellen. We've been invited to other places. If anybody would like to have somebody from the select board, the schools, or the school building committee attend a group meeting of any group they may have, Lions or anybody, we'd be glad to go and take the we used to call them road shows for raising money for capital, but take the road show out and explain and answer questions and in a true town democracy way, stand in front of you while you ask those uncomfortable questions and we answer them.
We'll do house parties too.
We'll do house parties too.
Parties is, I don't know.
Wine and cheese.
Yeah, in that order.
Yeah. So I think we're in the point now where we'll be coming to we're coming to fruition. This has been a lot of years of work. And it looks to me that November town meeting, where it needs it's 2/3 votes, 2/3 vote at town meeting. And then there'll be a ballot on December 8th.
Yes.
Yeah, keep me honest on the dates.
November 10th?
November
December
10th and
8th,
December 8th.
Yeah.
So it's 2 votes and it's not an either or, it's both. The first one allows us to spend the money and the second one allows us to increase taxes. The first one is meaningless without the second and the second one is meaningless without the first. So they both have to pass. So if you vote at town meeting, please show up and vote at the polls. And if you vote at the polls, make sure you go to town, planning to vote at the polls, go to town meeting as well. Whichever side of the issue you're on.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Anything else on that?
I think we're done.
No? Okay, great. The next item we have is, for announcements is walk-in counseling. I'm trying, oh, here we go. Do you want to speak to
Speak to
that?
it, I
Sure.
certainly can speak to that. Once again, and we have advertised heavily on Facebook and I think on the website that we have walk-in counseling available. It's free mental health, substance use support for Millis residents. The important part here is there's no appointment and no insurance needed. This is the place to go to talk confidentially with a licensed clinician, get assessments, personalized support, learn about resources and referrals. It's a place to start. it's a place to refer someone if they need a place to start. We're offering that on Tuesdays from 3 to 5 p.m. at the Millis Public Library Study Room, but again, you can just go in. No questions asked. So that will happen again tomorrow, and it will be every Tuesday for the foreseeable future, and it's run by the SAFE Coalition. And it has been supported by the town of Millis through our Millis opioid abatement funds. So I think it's a great program.
Yes, that sounds like an excellent opportunity. Okay, any other announcements?
Nope.
Okay. All right, so the next thing we have on our agenda is to vote to open the town warrant, the town meeting warrant for the fall annual town meeting.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I just put a memo in your packet, just to ask the board this evening to open the warrant for the fall annual town meeting, which is scheduled for November 10th. And ask that the board keep that warrant open until your next meeting. It's 3 weeks from tonight, it's September 29th. As was mentioned earlier this evening, there'll be a very large item, important item on that agenda. So I'd ask again the public to get involved and attend the meeting. We'll also have other items on that warrant as well, and we'll be starting to go over those at your next meeting.
Perfect. I move that the board open the warrant for the November 10th fall annual town meeting for a period of 3 weeks and to close the warrant on September 29th.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Okay. Next, we are early, but that's fine. Everything's fine.
I should have read it slower.
So next we have some appointments to make. The first one being the Recreation Program Coordinator.
So, Madam Chair, we just go through a process for the recent departure of our former program director. We worked with a number of folks, including the Director of Recreation. And this evening, I am pleased to appoint and ask for your ratification, Jeff Page, to the position of Recreation Program Coordinator. This is a 30-hour per week role, supporting the Recreation Department by collaborating with the Director on different programming strategies, overseeing day-to-day program operations, supporting instructors, and managing events and activities. So again, I think we're very fortunate to be able to bring Jeff here. I think he's going to do great. I don't know if the director has anything to add, but I know Jeff has indicated he's excited to start. And
Yep.
so I asked the board for that ratification this evening.
Hi, Chris Fogarty, Millis Recreation Director. Jeff, come on over here. Come on, buddy. Are you buddy? We're super excited. This is gonna be amazing. Jeff has some really good experience and, big shoes to fill, but he's got it. And we're really excited and I thank everybody for their time and efforts for this research and, we're gonna do great things. So thank you for your
Well,
recommendation.
you already do great things,
Yeah,
so I'm
I
very
know.
excited for more great
Right,
things.
more great
Good.
things.
Yeah.
Great things.
Yes, awesome.
I have a question.
Yes,
Which branch of the Boston Y did you work for and when? I worked there for many, many years.
Boston Y?
Yeah,
Nope,
no, I thought you said.
town of Easton.
Oh. Look at the wrong,
Whose resume are you looking
I
at?
don't know. Wrong one, next one.
All right
I
then.
got excited, it's an old home week here. Never mind, town of Easton. So what'd you do at the town of Easton? There we go.
I was like, I remember that. Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
I jumped ahead. So in Easton, after school, what would?
So the Health and Community Services / Rec Department, COA.
Thank you very much.
So,
Yeah.
Excellent.
All right, well, we are
Okay.
excited to still have you, even though you
Yeah,
work for the Y.
Yeah, it's not a requirement to work for the
Yeah.
Whitehurst.
It helps.
Yeah.
All right, I'll make a motion that we ratify the town administrator's appointment of Jeff Page as Recreation Program Coordinator pending completion of a successful physical. And that's for every department, not
Yep.
just the rec department. Okay.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Thank you.
Very nice to meet you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jeff.
We'll see you at Goat Yoga.
Yeah.
Oh, yoga's tough.
Right?
Did you go to that last time?
I did.
Yeah, it was good. I went before.
We used to do that at the trustees. I think sell them a few months ago.
Our next appointment is a recreation committee member. And we, okay, who's
I
doing?
because we appoint them,
We
so I'll make the
yeah,
motion.
right.
All right, I move that the board appoint Christina Johnson as a member of the recreational committee through June 30th, 2026. And what branch did you work for?
Well, family.
Okay.
Now you have the right resume.
I should say second.
Excellent.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor? Motion carries
Yep.
unanimously.
No
And
question.
just, what years did you work there?
Gosh, I started right in college,
Okay.
so, early 2000s.
Okay, I was in the Huntington Avenue office. Yeah,
Yeah, I was there until probably 2013.
okay.
Nice.
Tenure.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's nice, yeah, and I left in 2000, so, or 2020, so we were there at the same times, but didn't get out of the corporate offices as much as I should have, I guess.
well, thank you very much for stepping up and becoming a committee member. It's very exciting. Have the new face, so thank you.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Good luck.
Yeah. All right, I'm stretching, I'm trying to stretch for you.
You're doing a great job, Craig. Okay, our next appointment,
So, yeah, Madam Chair, in your packet is a letter from John Laura, the Chair of the Finance Committee. He wanted to inform the Select Board that he has officially stepped down as the Capital Planning Committee Liaison for the Millis Finance Committee, which he had notified the Capital Committee at our last meeting. Although he said he thoroughly enjoyed being on the committee and working with the other members for almost 3 years. There are 3 new members on the Finance Committee, and he wants to give the opportunity to new members to be involved and help guide the town with its short-term and long-term capital planning needs. So he is recommending Eric Martinson to be the next Capital Planning Committee Liaison for the Finance Committee. Eric is a new member on the committee. He has expressed a desire to learn more about Millis government and is looking to get involved. In addition, his career in the technology sector and with the Capital Planning Committee, looking to implement our ClearGov software this coming year, would be able to bring a lot to the committee to help implement that new software.
fantastic. I think this is a great committee to become a member of.
It's one of
Lots
the most
interesting
fun,
stuff. Yeah,
The fun committee.
one of the top 2 CPC. Yeah,
yes.
VCs.
all right,
Order of business is to change the initials.
yeah. All right, I'll move that the board appoint Eric Martinson as a member of the Capital Planning Committee, representing the Finance Committee through June 30th, 2026.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Uh,
Motion carries unanimously.
we have a meeting Thursday
Congratulations.
night if anybody would like to watch Eric in action.
I'm excited that they're getting software.
Yes,
That's
that's big,
long
that's big.
overdue.
long overdue. Yes.
Okay, so our next appointment is for the Energy Committee.
Well, thank you, Madam Chair. Usually this would be Bob Weiss's job, but he's away on vacation. I do have a memo from the Millis Energy Committee, saying that at their meeting, on August 26th, the Energy Committee unanimously voted to recommend Rob de Oliveira of 5 Paddock Lane to become a member of, the Energy Committee, and they are requesting that the Select Board appoint Rob to that committee.
Then we will. I move that the board appoint Rob de Oliveira as a member of the Energy Committee through June 30th, 2026.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously.
Great, thank you.
Okay, next up, we are going to vote to establish some gift funds. So the first one we have is the Recreation Santa Parade.
So, Madam Chair, I believe the director is here, but I will just mention that, we do have some gift funds set up for other items. And in speaking with the director, we felt that this was a good approach to seek funding from local companies and our banks to sponsor and offset the cost of programs that are offered for free to the residents of the community. And in keeping with that, we did discuss this with the finance director, who gave us a guideline on the proper gift account to set up. And again, this account would allow these funds to be used for the annual Santa Parade. And I'll let the director talk a little more about the great things we do at the annual Santa Parade, if you want to just mention that.
Hi, good afternoon or good evening. Nice to see you again. So yes, we have the annual Santa Parade that we do in collaboration with the fire department. In most recent years, we've kind of tried to expand on that we've got fire pits last year and had s'mores. Also with decorations, some of them, you have to buy new ones. So we were kind of working in conjunction with the fire department, but we figured this is actually the most stable and transparent way to collect funds in order to pay for and offset that cost for the Santa Parade. So we did reach out to the town administrator and the finance director to establish a Santa Parade gift fund. So that anything comes in, it can be just strictly for that purpose. So
Do you have a fundraising goal for that or?
honestly, so last year we ended up purchasing I purchased 9 fire pits, but
Okay,
then it went through, the fire department had their own sort of funding, and I like it to be streamlined and transparent and, it should just have a flow to it. So I thought this would be the best way to do that. We don't have to purchase any more fire pits.
okay,
However, if we do the s'mores, we have to have funding for that.
sure.
We have to have funding for any type of decoration that needs to be replaced, or if we come up with, again, we have a new
More ideas.
program coordinator. If we have any more ideas, this is just basically the best way to streamline everything.
Okay. Sounds great. And so people would just write a check and just say Santa Parade gift
Yes.
fund.
Yes, they can, and actually, we ended up setting up similar thing for the fireworks.
Right,
So I'm
right.
not sure if they're going to put it online. It probably isn't necessary to put it online. It would just be more to, if they were to send a check in, you have to put it in the memo and it has to be specific. And we make copies of that so that the accounting department and the treasurer's department know exactly what it's for. But again, it should be specific, so it's not for
Right, right.
something else.
Okay. Yeah, and I think we could probably put that online anyway. on the- on the
That's-
page. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we can put an announcement online
Yeah.
also too, yeah.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Well, all right, yeah, I do have a motion. I move that the board establish a gift fund in accordance with general law, part 1.
Yep.
Title 7. Gotta count it up. Chapter 44, section 53A for the annual Santa Parade.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, and then the
So-
next gift fund, yes.
So, Madam Chair, so the next item is a gift fund related to the Lansing Millis train station for repairs and renovations, and I know Selectman Rosenfeld had put this forward, so I will turn it over to her.
Thank you. Yeah, you're gonna hold that up in a minute. In a
I
minute,
was afraid it might.
relax. So sort of tagging off of Chris. The train station, the exterior repairs of this train station, almost 100% done. The last piece of that puzzle is the clapboard siding, which we're gonna get to in the next couple of weeks. Other than that, it's done. Now for that project, we went to the town and got $250,000, right? I got 125 from CPC, no, where did I get it from?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
CPC, Community Preservation. Not yours, there, right? You have to change that. And then 125,000 from,
Free cash.
Free
which
cash.
Which was through the capital planning committee.
Right.
Right.
Yeah,
so it's 250, the bid came in for 230, something around that. I don't know what happens to the other 20 grand, we need to talk about that.
talk.
But I'm gonna jump ahead a little bit. So I've also spent quite a bit of time inside the building. Now, I don't know if everybody knows, but we rented it out to a Montessori school for a while,
Many years.
over 10 years, right?
Yeah.
And they left 6 years ago,
Probably.
something like that.
Yes, it's been a while.
So everybody wants to know, what are we gonna do with the building? What are we gonna do with the building? What are we gonna do with the building? I don't wanna give you anything until we know what to do with the building. So the first thing I wanna mention is, this is just me. We will discuss and listen to the public, et cetera, but I'm not that inclined to lease it out again because the Montessori school single-handedly destroyed the interior of that building. Now, I say that like it's, we'll never be able to fix it. No, but it's cosmetic, which is good. But it's a mess. They left it a mess. They lived in a mess. And I personally, with a few people, spent 8 hours in there, different occasions, and removed everything that they added, which was a lot. Thousands of nails, screws, hooks.
Cubbies.
I mean, shelving units, just nail it to the newel post of the stairs that's 150 years old, to hang up a bulletin board, 3-inch screws, with really sort of crazy. Anywho, it's back to completely empty. And everything that they added has been removed. It is ready, the interior is now ready to be replastered in a lot of places. Some of the ceiling needs to be painted, of course, and it needs new flooring desperately. The heating system still works. The lights still work. So I'm trying to put bids together. I'm thinking 50, 60, I don't know how many $1,000, but I don't want to go back to the town the way we did it last time. So I want to do what Chris is doing, and I want to establish a fund, right? Where you can make donations specifically for the interior renovation of the train station. Now, what do I want to do with it? What are my thoughts? People, whatever. Well, interestingly enough, about 2 or 3 months ago, I took a tour of the farmhouse at Oak Grove Farm. That also we rented out for a while, and I went there because we're gonna be re-renting the first floor of it, but there's a second floor and there's an attic to that building. And I got a tour from Nate Maltinsky and Mitch, who are on the historical committee. They meet on so the first floor gets rented, which we are now putting out.
For the
To bid.
side of it gets rented.
Portion of the first floor.
Right, portion of the first floor. I did not know this when I went in, but the second floor is where the Historical Society meets. And it is chock full of Millis memorabilia. It, from floor to ceiling, 4 rooms, I believe, 3 or 4 rooms, floor to ceiling, wall to wall, stuff that's Millis history. There's a player piano that works. There, when you first walk in, it's the living room to the farmhouse. Now, this was not Lansing Millis's house. Lansing Millis's house was on the property, but it was closer to Island Road, and that burnt down to the ground. This was the Helps house. So it's a plain old farmhouse, nothing fancy. But the stuff that is upstairs, you walk in upstairs and you open the door and there's a living room, there's a fireplace. It's, if you've ever been to the Paul Revere house, it's set up. The furniture is still there from the late 1800s. The chairs, the coffee tables. You go into another room, there's about,
Time,
huh?
time.
Not yet. You go into another room and there's 20 maps this big by this tall, just leaning up against a wall. There's a shoemaking piece of equipment that somebody donated from Herman Shoe. So that brought us to another conversation. People are donating stuff all the time. They're inheriting stuff, whatever, they want to give it to the town. Somebody, Clark, just dropped off 3 or 4 boxes of stuff down in the clerk's office a couple of days ago when I just happened to be there and I'm looking through all this stuff. So a little show and tell. I'm gonna get to the point here. Fred, you're gonna hold this up.
Something's gonna happen.
You're gonna hold this up to the, watch your thing.
You,
Just put it right on the,
Yeah.
I don't know if
I'm
people
working it.
can see it. But that's a map that was donated by Bruce Cassidy. The map is dated 1890. That's 5 years after Millis was incorporated. The story goes that all the signers to the charter that incorporated Millis used to be East Medway. All of the signers got one of these. And Bruce Cassidy's great grandparents or great great grandparents got one of these. He had it and he gave it to me and he wants it to go somewhere. So my point being, I'm thinking of the train station as a museum of sorts of Millis memorabilia.
But wait, did you mention that the train station itself is on the map?
Yeah, yeah,
Like
well,
this
that,
little piece right at the bottom.
yeah, you can't see it, but the
You can't
train
see it, but
station's
it's like
on
the
the map.
main thing on the little Millis on the bottom, so it's like
So-
iconic Millis.
I think that, I mean, we haven't fleshed it out, nobody's talking about having, blah, 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 all this stuff. But a couple of things to think about, the farmhouse, one match and that farmhouse is gone. I mean, it's gone.
We don't want.
We don't want that. The stuff there is irreplaceable and it is spectacular and it's Millis's history. And if we can do the same thing to that stuff, like what my mother did to all of this, is catalog it, right? She books and books and books, everything's got a number, a date, blah, 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 blah. It's a lot of work, but people will do it. And we make a home for it and display it. And, that would be a vision, one vision. I'm sure there are others. So in order to get this going, we need to fix the interior. So we're gonna develop a fund, same like Chris's. In the line item, you put train station, you
Gift
donate
card.
$1, $5, I don't care. I'm gonna open the bidding, I'm gonna deposit a check, I didn't bring it, but I'm gonna deposit a check for $5,000. I'm gonna open the account, and hopefully we'll build on it. I'll get one of those thermometer things, and I'll go out with my red paint, right, and bring, no?
That'll look nice for the new building.
Yeah,
Yeah, then we put the thermometer, so that's my request.
Okay, I move that the board establish a gift fund in accordance with General Law, Part 1, Title 7, Chapter 44, Section 53A for the repair and renovation of the Lansing Millis building and grounds at 64 Exchange Street.
Second,
okay, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Yes,
Before 11 unit, first of all, thank you, it was phenomenal, and it's a history, I walk by, people taking pictures, they're
I know.
amazed by it. And you know, your mom worked there, and that's, I remember going in there as a kid, my grandfather paying his bills, and there's a lot of history there. And that's what we don't wanna lose in the town, and it's great that we're restoring, it's great that we have a plan. And it's part of Millis, and we wanna keep that, same thing with the farmhouse, we don't wanna lose that stuff, because all too often, in too many towns, you lose a lot of that stuff. And when people come and they say, oh, this is great, and they take a picture of that, or they take a picture of, the old train station, it means something. So it's really nice to see it getting restored and redone and planned finally, because it seemed like for a while there was some concerns, but
Right.
we're heading in the right direction, so thank you.
Just one last thing, and people, Kathy down at the clerk's office was saying that people come in with boxes and boxes and boxes of stuff. But more people would come in if they knew there was a place for it. Because Kathy, they can only take they're like, oh, you know, that's nice, but what am I gonna do with it? So I think it would be a great thing.
And thank you, Ellen, for your generosity starting that account up.
Thanks.
I appreciate it because I've also been loving that train station and I went to the CPC first and I was unsuccessful. So where I was unsuccessful, you were successful, and at least we are getting that rehabbed. So it's great project. Thank you.
Thank you.
Great, if you haven't been by, go walk by, she's not kidding, now that it's been done, and the stones in the building that come from all over the country that were
Yeah.
donated, there's a lot of
Great.
history there. It's really an interesting building to go look
Great
at,
story.
and we're trying to keep the front of it cleaned up so you can see the building. And we're hoping that that's going to be a place where we can do, I don't know, outside movies, different things, like start to do some cool things over there. So definitely worth going to see.
Thank you, Will.
All right,
You can
awesome.
put a message on the back.
All right, the next item we have is to consider the request to purchase general code software.
Good evening. Jim McKay, I'm representing the planning board tonight with Nicole Riley, who's representing the planning board. Nicole will get into the particulars of the software that we're looking to purchase. And the subcommittee that we've been working on diligently for the past several months, 3 hours, almost twice a month. And I think we're on page 34, I'm sorry, of the zoning book. So Nicole will explain the necessity of this much needed for us, not just us.
So this software that we're proposing, we're requesting the town to purchase, will digitize our zoning bylaw. As I said, this 220 plus pages, the general bylaws and our home rule charter, home rule charter. The reason for this is obviously bring us into the 21st century. This organization that we were looking to purchase the software for actually does this for half the towns in the state. The transparency and the ease of use, once it's digitized, it's night and day. Because while Jim and I are fortunate as planning board members, we have this little book. If one of you want to do something in your home and you're not really sure where the zoning, this is online, but it is a Word document. And it's not a new Word document. It's it's the Microsoft Word 1997. So you have a 223 page document that you have to scan through to look and find what you're looking for. And if you are not, if you haven't used zoning bylaws very often, as most people haven't, you may not know exactly what you should be looking for. Whereas in this new software, if you're questioning, how close to my lot line do I have to be? You can literally type in lot line and it's going to give you everything. The cost is, the initial purchase is $16,500, and that's a lot of money. But there are a lot of ways that we are going to save, and Jim and I, on behalf of the planning board, feel this will pay for itself fairly quickly. Every time this zoning bylaw is changed, every time you change one thing, this book has to be reproduced. Camille, our secretary, has to go into this 1997 document and change it. She then has to ship it out to be printed. Every printing just to get 20 of these books is $410. as Jim said, we are in the process of reviewing this document, this book, for the first time in over 10 years. We are on page 34. We've been meeting since March. We started out twice a month. We did cut to once a month during the summer. We are on page 34 and we have 11 pages of changes. So when this goes forward and those first 11, 12 pages are changed at town meeting, Camille has to go in and type this, hand type it. It can't be reformatted. So the formats as we go through are like, why is this off? Why is that off? Why does this look so unprofessional? Because the document that she's working with is no longer supported by our current computer system. So she can't format it. When things get thrown off, it is what it is. So not only are we paying for man hours, and this review of this book is going to take probably at least 3 town meetings, if not more. So that's gonna be 3 town meetings. After the 3 town meetings that she has to go in and make changes, those are time, man hours that we're paying for her. The printing of the new book. And then this is also true for our general bylaws that have to be done. And I don't know if Kathy Smith does it or if Karen's office does it. But that's going to be done. Then you have the home rule charter, any changes that made, and then it has to be printed again. But the biggest concern that I have as an attorney in pricing is not the purchasing and it's not the man hours. It's the potential for a lawsuit.
Yes.
We have, in our reviewing, we have come across typos, which are it's to be expected. Because you can't ask Camille to proofread what she's done, because anybody that's done a document that's more than 3 paragraphs knows you need someone else to proofread it, because you know what it's supposed to say, that's what your brain's gonna see it as. If there is something wrong in this book, we could be liable for it. And I have an example to give you. Several years ago, Jim and I were both on the board. There was a provision under the MCEOD bylaw where it referenced what could be done on the main street. But the words main and street were capitalized. Now, under the law, by capitalizing main and street means you're talking about Main Street, Route 109. But by adding the word the in front of it means you're talking about the main street versus a side street when you're dealing with a corner lot. So the capitalized Main Street, what does it mean? Well, the planning board had their interpretation. Luckily for us, this was brought to our attention by Tom Roach, who was a builder that has been in this town for many, many years and wanted to work with us, not go after us. And held off on what he was looking to do until we were able to get it corrected at that upcoming town meeting. If we have a mistake like that, where we believe what it was intended to be, but that intention, that interpretation doesn't meet with the builder, this town's gonna be in a lawsuit. And that lawsuit easily, even if it gets thrown out initially, is gonna cost us $20,000 minimum in legal fees. So that is really one of the main reasons we are looking to digitize this. This is overdue. This should have been done long ago. And a lot of our research for the review of this, for other bylaws, as we're adding, our board goes to other bylaws. We go to other towns. And I tell you, I've drafted bylaws for this town. And when we have to do research and I come up with a town that has it in a book, and it's, I don't know how the average citizen is using that online 200-something page and just scrolling. Whereas if you go to towns where it's digitized, it's safer and it's much more user-friendly. It's safer for the town and the developer.
I just got one thing to say. So as Nicole stated, I mean, the reason why we're here for the November town meeting is we do plan on bringing the first group of changes for the first 35 pages, maybe 50 by the time we get there. We'll be ready for the May town meeting. This book will be
November.
digitized, and it'll be all typed and ready for Camille and whoever to make the changes for the May town meeting.
Okay.
May or November?
First one was November.
Well,
So-
November is.
Oh, we'll get the new
fund-
software in
fund-
November and you'll
Yeah,
change
yes.
it.
Funding in November for us to type it up.
And that was, this software, they will take this document, they'll take the book, all three sets of documents. They will input it, and then they certify that it is correct. They have multiple people working on it. If there is a mistake, they're responsible for it. It's not coming out of our pockets.
So I have a quick question.
Sure.
Just, so to me, there's two things at play here. There's the software and then there's the labor of getting it into the software. What exactly are we purchasing? Are we purchasing software that we could then use to digitize other things? Or are we only purchasing software and digitization of these specific things?
It's only for
I think it's
these,
these, right?
these
Okay.
three specific documents, because they're
Those documents being,
the zoning bylaws, the
Charter.
general bylaws,
And the
and the charter.
I just wanted you to say it.
But I can't see why this type of software we would be able to use for contract, all the different contracts that could eventually be typed into the systems.
And I think the pricing has to do with it only being the three
Yeah.
documents right now, but yes, it is something that we could use. You were excited about it a little bit.
The
right?
contractor
Yes.
has put his full support
Yeah.
behind
Oh.
this.
Yeah.
He
Yes.
would have been here tonight, but he's not, he's on vacation.
I'm gonna start by saying, I think it's a great idea, but I also am not sure we should vote on it yet, because I see you got a whole little chart for one of the three CPC
Well,
committees. And,
Right.
yeah, and we usually don't
Did I put it in
endorse
CPC?
before, yeah.
That was a typo.
Capital planning,
Right.
Right,
Like
say that
capital-
again?
there's a project for the capital planning,
That's not,
no, next one.
So, so really,
Yeah, this
tonight,
chart.
you're not voting
yeah,
See that,
to
Jim?
approve it, you're simply voting to say you support
to
the
go.
planning
Yeah.
board putting
Well-
it forward to the Capitol.
I would say there's two things about that. First, we've never really gone in supporting a project. They usually refer to us. I'm not saying I'm opposed to this at all. I'm just trying. And secondly, I think we moved the limit from 10,000 to 25,000. So this may not even go before them. It may just come straight to us. I can't recall what the limit, I may be wrong with that limit change.
Yeah, we'll check on that.
Yeah.
So I think, if that's the approach, I would say really the only thing that the board would need to do is just,
Yeah.
say that you encourage them
I
to.
encourage you to go to the capital
To
planning
submit
committee.
it to the capital planning committee for their review and consideration, and I mean, I'm certainly fully in favor of this. I
Yeah.
think it's technology that we need to take advantage of, and the time savings is just incredible, not to mention the fact that the public is gonna have a much easier time sifting through our bylaws, and being able to interpret.
I agree with all that. I just don't want to put our recommendation ahead of the committee is supposed to be recommending to us. And if it's outside of their budget, I mean, if it's below their threshold, then congratulations, you're here, and we've heard you, and we can vote without.
Put an
their
article on.
recommendation. Yeah.
Right on town meeting.
I
But,
have a question
yeah.
about the money. Nicole, you said what, 16.5?
16.5.
Does that include the inputting and all that, or just
They will
for
take,
those three?
they will take
Yeah.
these three documents, they will input them into the system, and then it's an annual, maintenance fee of,
$1,195, which our IT director, Jim Donovan, has said he supports, and he would fund through his ID department, budget.
so the purchase is both of the software and for their company to upload everything.
Well, I know that the book cannot be updated.
Yeah.
Literally, so
Yeah.
we better
Yeah.
do it before it
I think-
seriously cannot be updated.
I think it's a great project. I think it's something that should be done. I just don't want to make a recommendation before the committee that's supposed to be recommending to us makes a recommendation.
I didn't, honestly, I didn't think we were gonna get that far. It was just
Yeah.
to produce it to you, was the idea.
Yeah.
tonight.
Okay, all
I
right,
think it's great, so.
okay.
Great, thanks.
All right.
Try to get through another 20 pages or so. I'll bring a pot of
It's
coffee.
just another piece
Yeah.
of moving forward.
Absolutely.
The other piece that, and they didn't mention this, but I'll tell you just from the website perspective. So sometimes Camille will post the zoning bylaws, but then maybe the town clerk also posts the zoning bylaws, and it's not necessarily
The
one
same.
spot. So maybe Camille updates it, but maybe the town clerk or I didn't realize it was updated. So now you have two different versions on the website. Well, that gets you into a whole heap of trouble. This will prevent that as well. Because
Yes,
that's an ongoing issue.
Yes.
We're just trying to handle. So, yes, very supportive. 100% supportive.
All right, so next we have to vote to jointly appoint an interim school committee member with the school committee. So if did you guys call the order? Okay, perfect. All right, so there is a vacancy on the school committee currently, and in order to fill that vacancy, the requirement is that the select board and the school committee jointly appoint a replacement until the next election cycle. So there are two candidates that submitted information to us.
Yeah, so
Yes.
both were invited to attend tonight, and I think Jamie's here. I don't know if you want to come up, Jamie? Come on up, we'll put you in the hot seat. And so this
is
is,
the other one?
yeah, I don't see that Tom.
So I know everybody in the room and I don't see anybody
He
that
thought
don't.
he was
know.
going to try to come, and he wasn't quite sure, so he's, I don't know.
Okay, all
He was
right.
going to let me know one way or the other, but unfortunately I did not hear.
So Jamie, if you want, again, hot seat, sorry, but welcome and, nice to meet you. And if you'd like to tell us a little bit about yourself and your interest in the school committee, I'm sure both committees would love to hear that.
You'll have to pull the mic over in front
Yes.
of you.
Yeah, like,
4 inches
that's what they
away.
say, 4 inches.
They're very specific.
All right, can you hear me?
Yes.
I think so.
Perfect.
So no pressure. So I'll try to describe my thinking behind this. So a lot of you know me. I've been in Millis since 2009. That means I've been a Millis public school parent since Andrea was like in pre-K. So she's now in college. So I've been a-
Congratulations.
Thank you. So I'm really tied to the community because I have 3 kids. They all did the immersion program. We're super happy here. I just recently was on the, sorry. I was recently on the Millis community media. And I didn't expect to be describing my like community ties the way that he had to put me on the spot, but that really said it all, like I love Millis. I feel like Millis has really supported me and provided like an amazing growing up period for my kids. And I love it here. And we still have tons of friends here, still kind of all the same ages of my kids, and the community is kind of growing, rising and growing, and here we are. So professionally, like what do I do? I'm an educator. It's all I've ever done. I started in the Peace Corps and I've been a school-based administrator for 13 years. I was a teacher for 14 years, a classroom teacher. So I feel like I really do understand education at the micro and the macro level from a parent perspective, a teacher perspective, administrative perspective, including like budgets and grants and how all that shakes out for student growth, student learning, student development. I definitely think that education is something I can talk about, with a lot of expertise. And I wonder if that isn't the best place for me to serve Millis. I really, like I said, I enjoy Millis. I belong here. I feel like I'll die here on Auburn Road next to my chickens. Like that's a fact. My naughty chickens that run in the road and everyone tells me about it constantly. But that's where I'm just always gonna be. So while I'm here and I have had such a good experience here, I'm so excited to start giving back whenever the time is right. And if now's the time, then now's the time. And I just feel like being an educator all these years, that's probably the space for it. And lastly, as I was asked, why would you want to do this? Why would you want to join school committee? And I think, I'm not retired yet. I have like 14 more years until I'm really eligible to retire from Boston Public Schools. And, I'm excited to learn more. I'm a lifelong learner. And I feel like on school committee, I could learn even more of a macro view and like what a better place to do it than where all my friends are in my community. So I'm really excited to like learn new things and to join in from that aspect. And I think that it could be a mutually beneficial relationship. So that's my interest, my background, and my community.
Do you schlep into East Boston every day?
Every day, my friends.
Holy moly.
12 years. And before that, it was to the Curly in Jamaica Plain.
I know.
And that was, just as long,
Yeah.
and a little later in the day, so it made it even longer. But yeah, I basically go to the airport, if anyone needs to go to the airport. I just want to ride. My ex, not good, Jets, so we like have to.
You're gonna be sorry you said that.
A little side job, yeah.
Come a little bit more.
For free, but I mean, I'm more than happy. I leave at 6:05. I'll put you at airport station at 7:05. On the dot. Don't worry. Yeah.
I'll give you a call.
I've always said so, like anytime, that's what I do.
Okay.
Right, excellent. School committee, I know you guys aren't all sitting in front of a microphone. Do you guys, if you guys have any questions, for Jamie, would you mind maybe going to the microphone if you have anything? Or if someone wants to make a
Make a motion or
motion
anything.
or something.
I'm happy to answer questions.
Yeah, do we wanna like read the letter from the other person?
Yeah, we could do that. Hold on, let me find it.
Not
I
yet.
have one.
You have it? Okay, printed. Great. All right. So I will read the letter.
This is the other candidate.
This is the other candidate. The other candidate is Thomas. He goes by TJ Bakari. So dear members of the Millis School Committee, I am writing to express my interest in serving as an interim school committee member. With over a decade of experience as a pediatric nurse at Boston Children's Hospital, combined with my active involvement in Millistown sports as both a soccer and baseball coach, I believe I can bring a unique perspective and valuable experience to this role. Throughout my nursing career, I've dedicated myself to advocating for children's health, well-being, and development. Working closely with families during critical formative times have given me a deep understanding of the challenges young people face and the importance of a strong support systems in both healthcare and education. This perspective, rooted in compassion and advocacy, would give my contributions as a member of the school committee. Guide my contributions as a member of the school committee. In addition to my professional background, my role as a coach in our town's youth sports programs has provided me with meaningful opportunities to connect with children and families in Millis outside of the clinical setting. These experiences have deepened my commitment to supporting the whole child, fostering social skills, promoting emotional growth, and ensuring that all students have access to the resources they need to thrive. I'm excited by the opportunity to serve the Millis community in this capacity and to collaborate with fellow committee members, educators, and families to further the mission of our schools. I would be honored to contribute my skills, experiences, and dedication to helping shape the future of education in our town. Thank you for considering my application. I would welcome the chance to discuss my candidacy further and share how my background can support the goals of the Millis School Committee. So that was the other application that we received.
Now, who makes the motion? School committee or the select board?
I was hoping the school committee would make the motion since it's your committee.
Yeah.
You have to go up to the microphone.
Whoever wants
to
to.
do it, get to go to the other hot seat.
Hang on a second. I know, I can.
Can I ask them though?
Do you want me to go back?
Yeah.
Oh, you can stay.
You can stay.
I'll go up this. I make a motion to nominate to
Appoint.
appoint Jamie.
And that's the only reason I'm not making the motion.
Because the other person's not.
Yeah.
So,
Jamie, how do you say your last name?
I go by Miss Star at work.
Okay.
So most people call me Miss Star or Jamie, but.
But
it's
from
pronounced
legal appointment.
Doratus.
Thank you.
Great, thank you. There we go.
Okay, straight, to the school committee for their interim position. Second,
And then you have to do a roll call vote.
Okay, okay, sure.
I'm an I. Oh, you can say my name. Robin, you said.
Ms. Briggs,
Yes.
Ms. Gaster, right?
Yes.
Mr. Underhill? Aye. And I am an aye as well.
Ellen Rosenfeld.
I,
Craig Schultz.
Yes.
And I'm Erin Underhill and I'm a yes as well. So welcome and congratulations to our newest school committee member.
Welcome.
Fantastic.
And we'll be calling. Bill,
Have you
the
heard
airport.
about the tri? There'll be a tri-board meeting coming up soon. Welcome aboard.
Get sworn in.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, I don't think they first.
So I get to call in sick to work.
Yeah, you can do it whenever the council. Yes, you can, it's whenever.
How late are you open tonight?
We're
30?
open till 7:30.
Open for a half hour.
If you're unable to do it prior, you can always come, anytime before 7:30 next Monday.
Oh, next.
7:30
Yes,
PM.
doing it.
So that's fine.
That's when they're here late, but they're here
Yeah.
every day.
You're every day till
day.
4:30.
Yeah.
I'll send you kind of our standard letter tomorrow. I'll email it to you and you'll have all the info, but I'm happy to assist.
Thank you very much.
Welcome.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right.
We'll walk out with you. So, attorney.
You're done.
Yes, Gina, you adjourning? Yes.
Aye. All right.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Goodbye.
Congratulations.
All right.
Okay, the next thing we have
Day
are,
alcohol
yes.
license.
so the Millis Lions, have a couple of things on here, actually. The first thing is for a sign permit request,
Which was, retracted. Retracted?
retracted, okay.
Like the third one. Yes, they no longer need the sign permit request.
Was this the other sign permit request for, because there were,
I think I misunderstood and put sign permit request, but there wasn't really a sign permit request. So when I asked her, she said, no, we don't need that. Why was there another?
there was
sign?
another sign permit request.
Okay, then she was confused.
Okay, yep,
There was some, well, so you can
Okay.
still make the sign
So,
permit
okay,
request.
so
if you'd
this-
like to. Sorry.
yes. So there's a sign permit request. I don't have the streets.
Is it the
handy.
streets?
I
that we
do, I
approve?
have the streets.
Yes,
I'll go.
it's the same 7 or 8.
Yeah, the same, the
streets that we
typical.
ran.
I was gonna say, I have the list, you could look, you could say it's the same list.
I think it's
Yeah,
fine.
no, it's fine.
Same list. This is a sign permit request for a fall craft fair
Oh.
that is coming in October.
Is that the Lions as well?
Yes,
Okay, so that was, I guess that was
Yes.
confusion.
yes. That one
My
came from
apologies.
Melanie. So this one is to put up signs.
Oh,
I
good.
believe it's October 20, hold on. I have it. I
So
do.
this is, I'm sorry, this is the
This
Lions.
is October 25th is the craft fair,
Craft fair, thank you.
Holiday Bazaar, I think they called it.
What, 3 weeks prior to that? Or-
Yeah.
Yes, it's usually through.
Yeah, so why don't we say 3 weeks prior? And it's from 10 to 2, I believe. And it'll be at the Millis High School.
I went to that last year. It was
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah.
I'll make a motion to allow the Lions to put up signs, 5 typical locations. For the Fall Craft Fair, 3 weeks prior to the October 25th start date of the
Okay.
fair.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
All right, motion carries. The next request from the Lions was a 1-day alcohol license. This is for an event they were looking to have at St. Thomas Hall for an 80th anniversary celebration. So they're looking for they're planning to do a cash bar at the event. So they're looking for a 1-day alcohol license.
What's the date for that? I don't see it on.
That is September 27th.
Okay, I'll make a motion. I move the board approve a 1-day special wine and malt license for Debbie Hayes on behalf of the Millis Lions 80th anniversary celebration to be held on September 27th at St. Thomas Large Hall at 974 Main Street from 6 to 10 PM.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries unanimously. Okay, next we have water and sewer commitments.
And just quickly on the water sewer commitments before you go ahead. I'm gonna hand you this one because there are 2 in your packet and one of them I realized today, the numbers did not look correct.
Oh,
So this is it.
This is
This is
the
the updated
corrected
one.
one.
okay,
That's one fills
the-
1,056,000.
So
No,
there's 2, that the 1,056,000 is correct, and that's, so they're correct on your motions. But
okay.
the actual document in your packet
Okay.
is not the update.
I move that the board approve the FY 26 quarterly water sewer department commitment to the collector in the amount of $1,056,796.23.
Second.
moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye. I move the board approve the water sewer department commitment to the collector for August 2025 in the amount of $4,409.60.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion's carry unanimously. And then the last thing we have is the review and approval of draft minutes from August 18th.
I move the board approve the draft minutes of August 18th, 2025, select board meeting as written.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All those in favor? Motion carries unanimously.
I move the board enter executive session for the following reasons, and let's see everything else.
Nope, that's it.
Okay. To discuss strategy with respect to collective bargaining or litigation if an open meeting may have a detrimental effect to the government's bargaining or litigating position that relates to the Regency at Glen Ellen. And to discuss strategy session in preparation for contract negotiations with non-union personnel, and that relates to the town administrator's contract. And only to return to open session for the purpose of adjourning.
Okay, that'll be a roll call vote. Ellen?
Aye.
Craig?
Aye.
And I'm an aye. So we are now adjourned and we'll go into executive session. Thank you, everybody, for attending, and thank you, Mills Community Media, for doing your thing, and have a great night, everybody.
Oh.